Hi, and welcome to Gary's Hobby Studio. In this video, I'm going to discuss a little bit more about the room. The light is definitely at the end of the tunnel, and we are starting to have the makings of a floor. It's been a very long process indeed. I started this roughly about 4 months ago because I started filming moving everything out and the stuff through it, but it's actually starting to come along. I got a feeling this weekend we should have the floor done, and we should have, if we haven't started, probably we could have some of the floor tiles laid down because I'll explain it later at the end, but let's get started. Okay, so I'm sure you guys are probably getting tired of seeing this. I've got all the wood screwed, glued, well, not so much glued other than the shims so that they don't move. But I've got everything screwed and put together. Just need one more piece. I should have got a 4x4x8. Instead, I got a 4x4x6, so I'm one piece short. But once I put that in, we'll be laying the plywood down. I just got to trim in that corner there a little bit. This floor is not going to be exactly the most level thing, but it's going to be as close as I can get it. I'm human. I don't normally do this all that much. And the reason for these 4x4s this way is so that when I put the server rack down, I can actually screw right down into them to bolt it, so that way it's not going to come up, because between the 4 planks of wood going this way and then the sheets of plywood this way, I mean, you'd have to really jerk on the rack to get it to come up. And that's exactly what I want to do, is that when I put that server rack back down on here, that sucker is going to get screwed to the floor, so that way if I pull a server out and I don't have the battery backups in, which I know I will, but I would still rather bolt this thing to the floor. That way I know it's not going to come out, and you know, I can pull 2 or 3 heavy racks out or servers out and not have to worry about it tipping over. So the next video will be probably after we start dropping sheets of wood. I don't know how much of it will get done today. This is Sunday the 28th, I want to say. Yeah, I think I think Friday was 26th. Sorry, I sometimes don't know the day unless I look at my phone. So me trying to remember is, you know. I have to do some cutting around there because the plywood's too thick, and if I'd use the stuff I wanted to use, it's not meant for floors. I don't know what that means, but that's pretty much where I'm at right now. So, but yeah, it's coming along. I figured the worst case scenario is I might be able to get it to go under the edge of that, maybe here. This side, I'll probably have to bring it up to the wall. Maybe it won't go under there. I know it's not going to go under there. I have to cut around those there with a jigsaw on it so that it'll fit, because it's too thick. And probably the same with there. I'll probably have to pull that molding off there and have to reapply it or replace it, one or the other. But we'll see how things go here in a little bit. Okay, and as you can see, we actually got 2 sheets of, well, actually a sheet and a part of one just because of the size of the room, but in essence 2 sheets laid down. They're screwed and glued, or glued and screwed, whichever way you want to call it, to everything. And surprisingly, this one's level. I haven't checked this one, and I'm curious because some of the spots have been off a little bit. But then again, they were over here too. And this thing's level. There's no real big gaps or anything in the floor. So it'll be interesting to see how this all finishes out. I can't wait to get it done because of the fact that, oh my god, this has been a royal nightmare like the whole frickin' time. I'm definitely taking Monday off because this is Sunday. I'm just wrecked from doing all this weekend, getting all the boards set up and everything. In a way, I'm actually, I was like, I didn't want to change the spacing, but I put it in the proper spacing every 16, and each board is on center of that 16 inches because you have to have like 3/4 of an inch one way, 3/4 of an inch the other way. And yeah, it cost me a little bit more money in wood, but I think because of that, I think the floor is going to be way stronger. Now right here, I used 4x6s because this is what, when I place the server rack right down here, okay, I'm going to screw it into this, and I need to see what size, because I see the hole and I got to figure out what size it is, so that way I know what kind of bolts, lag bolts to and washers to, so that I can screw it down, because I'm going to mark on the wall right about where the edge molding goes, so that way it can be covered up, basically where the center of it is, because I want to try to line up the circles with the center, and then that way I just screw it right down through the everything right into that there. And then this way, I mean, unless I really pull on this thing should not tip over at all, with or without battery backups in it. I've been wanting to do that because that way, like I said, if I want to put the servers in first and I don't have the battery backups in, I can pull it out, hook it in, let it sit there, and not have it tip over. Plus, I also have a few upgrades for the that came in recently that I'm definitely wanting to get this done. I don't want to hurry through it. I want to get it done right. But so far, I mean, I'm standing on this. Yes, I'm wearing Wookiee slippers. I normally do. But I mean, I jump up and down on it and everything, and this thing doesn't move at all, which is great because that is exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for it to be very strong. And I managed to get it underneath there, even though I set it to 5/8, and this is 23/32 height or thickness. So, surprisingly, I mean, over there, that's so screwed up. I don't think I'm going to have a problem with it there. It's only over here. And the sad thing is, because of this thickness, I have to remove the door and get a new door put on it. I don't know when, because it costs money. So I'm going to say it's probably not going to be for a while, and it won't be until I get some kind of air conditioning put in here to help keep this room cool so that I can shut the door. So basically, it's almost tripped. Basically, it's just, when I need it, that's when I'll get it. That blow out. I hope that works. Good thing I bought 3. It looked like the stuff leaked out of there. I'm hoping that whenever we do more of this on Tuesday, I can break that stuff that came out, poke a hole through it, and be able to reuse it, hopefully. If not, that's why I bought 3. I'll use that one, and then I got one more in the box. But yeah, we're actually getting a, we have the makings of a floor. Thank God. So, but yeah, I definitely want to take Monday off because I'm just beat. And then Tuesday, we'll probably lay the next 4-foot or 8-foot sheet going this way, which will encompass the stuff there. I'm not going to screw it into the wood joists of for the server rack, because that's not what its intention is for. And it's going to stick out a little bit past the door frame, and I have to figure out how the heck I'm going to get it under there enough. Because if my memory serves me correctly from setting it up, this middle board here of the three that are close to each other, that's 8 feet coming back this way. And I believe, yeah, because of the way the two meet. And then this one over here is 8 feet coming this way. So I had to trim this board, this one up just a smidge, not by much. And then, like I said, I had that one. So basically, we're going to have a full 8 foot long board coming this way, and then the remaining difference, so that'll be 4 sheets that'll be put down. Then we have to, and it's going to come 4 feet this way. Then we got roughly about 2 feet, say, this way. And then it'll be a 4 foot version this way. And then the remaining distance from the end of that to the door. Again, hopefully I can get it under there if I can. If not, I'll take it up to it. And then the remainder of all the cuts, that's what's going to fill in this here. So if I cut everything correctly, that's funny. If I cut everything correctly, I should, in theory, be able to cover the whole floor. I don't really want to buy any more sheets because I've already got too much extra wood of everything because I probably didn't cut the joists and everything correctly. That one right there, I use that. I butt it up against the plywood so that I can move it into position and everything with it. That way I don't smash the groove or the tongue, which I know somebody recommended me to put the groove up against the wall, but the only thing is that would have been a lot harder, and it would have been me hitting it with the tongue sticking out, and that doesn't have a groove for that. If I would have had something that would have had a groove, I would have done that. So I decided, let's go ahead and put the tongue underneath there, underneath that wall there, which is what I did, which then allowed it to go underneath. It's really close. Like I said, when I put the molding on the end of that, it's going to cover most, I want to say most of the spacing problems. I don't think I should have that much trouble here with the rest of it. The only places I think, because I really had to hammer the crap out of that thing just to get it to move over enough to get underneath there. And then, like I said, it's going to be the same thing there. Although I'm hoping that because I forced that in there, it kind of raised that up a little bit. And if it did, it should make it a little easier to slide it underneath. I'm hoping. Again, here's where the problem is going to be. Right here is this wall, because it's spaced for 5/8, and that's 23/32, which is a lot taller. You know, it's almost 3/4 of an inch, or it's exactly 3/4 of an inch, one or the other. Because of the manufacturing, there's always like a little bit of discrepancy and shit, and I don't really care. I just, like I said, I'm just glad we're at a point now where I can actually see the light at the end of the tunnel, because every stupid time there was always something new. And last night I kind of went, oh crap, because I was just real, you know, after getting all this set up, I was like, oh crap. Now, this stuff's so thick, is it going to fit? Luckily, it's been working out. How, I have no idea. I really don't know how it's been working out, but it has. But yeah, I mean, I like it now that I can actually like stand on something now. I can actually sit on the edge of something now. But yeah, I want to say this week is the last week of the floor. And then after that, it's then the finishing touches. The floor tile, the ceiling tile. I don't know if I'm going to replace the trim work or just pull it down. It depends on if I can find anything. I mean, I found something for the floor, but it's the upper part here. And if I end up replacing all of this with something different, what I'm half tempted to do is I'm half tempted to take the side moldings off here, leave the bottom one on there, remove the top, put a piece so that way it's there, and then cut this top molding so that, you know, it'll look like somewhat professional, not this, hey, I'm just going to leave this blank. And that way, as I run the new tile, then I can just butt every new thing up. I mean, I know I can do it with the old stuff too, but then I would just have to leave that there because, you know, there's no way I'm going to be able to do that. But I mean, if I could do it the other way, it would be great. I just stuck that in there to help keep the cold air from coming in the house. But yeah, so far, like I said, I'm actually impressed with how everything's been going because, again, you know, I know this is a little long-winded, and like I said, I'll probably edit out a lot of stuff just to try to condense time-wise. I'm just surprised at how everything's turned out, especially considering this is the first big project like this I have ever done. I have never done anything like this. I mean, I've done some simple stuff, you know, like replacing the stairs. I've mentioned that before in other videos. And some other things like that where I've had to cut wood, but nothing like this. Like nothing like, you know, running beams and screwing everything together and building a floor and trying to make it sturdy and stable and all this other stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm just impressed by it, and I really am. I seriously thought I was going to screw this up royally. I really did. Okay, and as you can see here, we have 2 more pieces put in. So far, everything's level. I mean, I checked over there in the corner, we checked here, and shockingly enough, it's level. I don't know how, because the boards there in the corner there are sloped downward, but hey, you know, I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. So basically, the only thing that happened was when I was trying to cut to fit the pieces, yeah, I screwed up. I was able to screw down here at the end. As you can see, I got the screws in the end. I think I put in like, let's see, there's one there, and I think, yeah, one there. And then here, it was too far away from the floor joist to screw into. So it's kind of a little soft here, but it's not that bad because the tongue is actually in the groove right there. So, and I put a little bit of glue because I thought it was going to hit it. So it's kind of glued and screwed here, maybe glued a little bit through there, and then just a big glob there. So what I was thinking about doing was putting Flex Seal in there to try to just fill in the gap, plus it'll give it a little bit of... I'm just worried about the expansion, because if it does, it's going to push the tiles up. And I might make sure it sits a little lower than that, so that way if it does flex, it doesn't push the tiles up. If it does, I'll have to pull up the tiles, rip it out, and, you know, put new tiles back down. I'm sure I'll have a few extras. And yeah, so this was Tuesday, I want to say March 30th, and we got 2 more in. So, but yeah, it's coming along nicely, finally. We'll put these 2 in tomorrow. And then this part, more than likely, I'm going to probably have to take the door off. I don't know if it'll hit that piece here or not. We'll find out. Huh. It actually went over top of it. Holy crap. I don't have to remove the door. That's amazing. We'll definitely find out once we do these ones, because I'm probably going to have to cut around the bottom of the trim here, because I just got a bad feeling it's not going to go underneath there. And I'll probably have to do some cutting there before we drop it in. But I mean, I'm going to drop the first one here first, because it's like I did here. I just dropped a full sheet here, and then the partial there. Then this one was a full sheet this way, except for I had to trim some off here. And I trimmed about 2 inches off there, which I wished I didn't do. But I was trying to get it underneath, but I couldn't get it to go all the way underneath. So yeah, that's part of the reason why this is like this. If I didn't cut that 2 inches off, it probably would have come over. Maybe I might have had to trim it here in the middle, maybe. But yeah, basically I screwed up. I admit it. So this one's going to be a full it's going to be 8 foot long this way, but it's going to be, from the way I was looking at it by measuring it, it's probably going to be like it's going to be 2 foot 11 and, it's 11 and a half measuring from the wall to that edge. And I'm giving it an extra like 1/4 inch because I want to try to get it underneath there. I'm going to try. That way, well, I also have to look at that too, because the fact is that there is a cement post there. The part of the brick sticks out. So I will have to see. I may have to use the jigsaw and cut around here to get it to fit. But that's fine. But at least this way, going from here and hopefully halfway, I'd like to get it halfway. I'll have to see like what the exact distance is to the midpoint of that, because depending upon how I get this piece laid here determines how I do the part here in the closet. Sorry, my mind just went. So that's basically what I'm looking at. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to play out yet. And I also have to realize too that the joists are offset between the two. I'll have to somehow mark it or something, so that way whenever I'm putting the screws in, I'm not putting like a umpteen bazillion holes trying to find it. I mean, it's nice with this here that whenever I screw it in, I can just start here at the edge and work my way towards the top. The only thing is I did miss a few times, and it just totally went through the board and didn't hit the joist underneath. So, but it doesn't matter. It's only a small hole, and basically once I clean and vacuum all the dirt and everything off of these and put the sealant on it so that the self-stick tile will stick to it, it's just putting tile in after that. And the way I'm looking at it is I'm just going to test fit it here and just see how it looks going across, because my whole theory is that I'm not going to find the center of the room and then start from the center and work my way out, because I saw this video where it was like he had to redraw the center line because he had half a tile on this side and he had half a tile on this side. So instead of that, you just change the thing. I'm thinking if you just dry fit it, you can see how it's going to pan out if you have to cut anything here or cut anything here. And it was just stupid. My theory is, like I said, I'm going to dry fit the tiles without actually gluing them down and see if I have to cut anything and try to figure out how I'm going to handle it, because I know there's going to be a trim piece that's going to go over top of all this. So if I can put those cut pieces very close to that, then, when I put the trim over, it's just going to hide it. So yeah, that's another two. It's really starting to come along, and I'm figuring by this Friday when you see this video, I should be, I want to say, finished with the closet and starting to put the sealant down after we clean everything, especially after I patch this up here as best I can. My wife said that I should try to cut a piece. It's like, yeah, it starts out if it was pretty uniform, I would say yeah. I guess I could probably maybe put a piece in there up to maybe there. Because that's smaller. I may do that. I may scrape out all that glue, put a new bead in. I might do that. Something to think about. I'm not ready to do it just yet, so. But yeah, for, like I said, 2 days, man. Yeah, or the weekend got this done, and all this and these two over here. And then Tuesday, because I had to take Monday off, so I was really sore. I'm sore today, but not too bad. But then today we got these done, and the edges are like really nice, and pretty even. So that's why I'm just impressed by it, because and basically this is the way this floor should have been done in the first place. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to open the door. All right, and as you can see, we got one more piece of plywood laid down. We were going to do this, but what happened was that when I was trying to put this one in, I couldn't get it to go in so it would drop down so we could then line it up with this. So what I ended up having my wife do, as they always say, if you're having problems with a computer, whack it with a bigger hammer. And that's exactly what I got. I got a 4-pound hammer from Lowe's. It's the Cobalt. And once that there, I was tapping that in and it just went, which is nice. So, but it got too late and I didn't want to disturb my neighbors. So I decided to just stop. I mean, it was bad enough I was banging the crap out of it. Don't know if I mentioned this before, but when I was using a rubber mallet, I broke the handle. I mean, I may try fixing it. I don't know if I can. But yeah, I broke a rubber mallet, and the small hammer right there, that sucker, it helped sometimes, but then there were times when it didn't. So yeah, pretty much, yeah. So I had to notch that. I think I cut a little too much off of it. But to be honest with you, who's really going to see it? Because, I mean, even if the molding hangs over the edge of it, that they're really, to be honest with you, who's really going to see it? I mean, because I'm going to have a desk here for my airbrush spray booth, So, like I said, I'm not worried about it. I mean, for not knowing what I'm doing, I'm not doing too bad. Like I said, is this perfect? No. Am I a professional? Hell the hell no. Okay? But I'm not doing bad. I'm getting it screwed and glued. I've been jumping up and down on it. I don't feel it moving. I don't hear it making a noise or anything. So, and the scary thing is, again, here, as a matter of fact, I will demonstrate. As you can see, yeah, the bubble's a little high to the left, okay, but it's still relatively level. And to me, it's going to be level enough so that, yes, hang on, there we go. I touched the screen and one of the menus came up because I was trying to zoom out. But yeah, I mean, I've been vacuuming up the dust as I've been cutting and stuff like that, because I've had to use a jigsaw, circular saw, and and I've been using that straight edge on this, and it actually made a really nice straight edge. I mean, way better than I would have done if I would have tried to just do it by hand. Now, unfortunately, I had to trim this because it was sticking over a bit, and it's kind of straight. I may take my one thing and try to maybe straighten that little chunk out right there. Because if I can trim that up and get it as close as I can to that, and then screw it and glue it and screw it down, it'll stay. And then after this is done, which I'm not doing it tomorrow because today's Wednesday, tomorrow's Thursday, and I'm just taking, again, a break because of, my age. I'm old, I get tired easy, and I really just need to take a break. I don't want to kill myself while I'm trying to do this. And so far, and I'll even demonstrate here because we actually looked at it tonight. I had a feeling because I only did it to this. And I have to figure out why the hell that doesn't shut smooth. But if you look, there's where that is. The next piece has to go there. The only thing I'm going to have to do is I'm probably going to have to cut that because that's really high there. There's no way I'm going to get it underneath there. But I won't have to take the door down or take the door off because it will just fit right under there. I mean, you can see it right there. That is a big enough gap. There will not be an issue whatsoever for it or when I put down the floor tile on this floor. But yeah, I have the makings of a really, really solid floor in this room. I am totally impressed by it, especially considering, as I stated at the beginning of the series, and I will put a link to the beginning of the one where I'm saying that I was really scared about doing this because I've never done anything this big. And like I said, it's not the greatest job, but I think, because like I said, I know basically from seeing YouTube videos because there was one when I was looking into this before I even started it, with Bob Vila, and he was because he was at this one place and talking to the guys that were installing it and everything and seeing how they did it. And this was like completely like a new house being put up, or in the case of a couple of other ones where they were doing similar things. And I know basically you got to make a floor level and stuff like that. And I'm kind of hoping that, because like I said, it's off a little bit, but most of the other ones are pretty spot on. So really, if that's really the only thing, and this one screw up over here that you'll see better in the earlier chunk, because I just moved stuff around because I had stuff I had to do. Like I have to sweep up all the dirt, the sawdust there. I mean, I'm trying to keep as much of the dirt out because it's like I don't want anything trying to not grow, but like bugs that would eat wood, even though I know it's treated, it's like anything else. Bugs evolve to, hey, guess what? I'm going to be able to eat this wood now that it's treated because I've genetically grown accustomed to it. I just don't want anything trying to live under there. And I'm hoping that doesn't happen. But I mean, with the way this is, and put the trim molding, because we'll probably pick that up once we're getting ready to start doing the floor, because the floor or the tile, because there's enough gap. I should be able to maybe even push the tile maybe underneath a little bit to kind of hide it. I just have to see, that could probably be how I could fix that too, because really nothing's going to sit there. Sometimes talking about this stuff actually gives you ideas on how to fix things, and it really does. I mean, I know I can't fix that in the corner because it's just too well deteriorated, and I know some of this stuff's still pretty decently attached to the thing. Anywhere it's loose, the rest of the way, I'm going to drill through it with a 1/4-inch drill and bit, and then I'm going to put Tapcon screws to mount it, once I drill those holes, so it'll hold that up against the wall. Probably do the same thing over here because I think there's some loose spots over there. And then vacuum up all the dirt that'll fall. Because it's like, I know I should replace it. I just don't have the energy, effort, commitment, or money to tear all this shit down and redo it. It'll be for whoever the hell gets this place after I'm dead. The only good thing is they won't have to do the floor unless the floor decides to totally rot. But yeah, this is the way this place should have been done when it was first done, and they just didn't do it at all. So, and I mean, I haven't felt any wet spots over here because it should be right about here because that's where the window is. Because it rained. Now, it might not have rained hard enough, but I also have that flex paste to put in the crack of the cement outside the window there because the water tends to run towards it the way the walkway is. It should have actually went the other way. And there's a gap, and I think that's why it's leaking because it runs down along the wall and then it just seeps through. I'm hoping that if I put that sealant on the outside between the walkway cement and the cement that makes up this window right here, that it will stop the water from running down as fast. I'm hoping. And maybe that might stop the water from seeping through. I'm hoping. But yeah, Friday, since we're off for Good Friday, well, at least my company, they give it to me. My wife put in for it using her vacation time. Friday, because like I said, I'm taking tomorrow off, which is Thursday, and when you see this, it'll be Friday. And we will be working on putting the last piece in there and then using all the leftover pieces because we're going to have them in various sizes and lengths and thicknesses and all that we should be able to use some of that stuff to hopefully do this here. If not, I'll have to figure out something else. But considering how wide, like when we trimmed that one there in that corner, and then this one here, we made it 3 feet, so we got like a foot there, and this here, and all these other pieces. There should be enough that if we can space it right, we should be able to cover it with that, be able to screw it and glue it. I'm gonna probably tomorrow I'll come down and mark those with the blue marker that we've been using, so that way I know right where the joists are, so that there's no guesswork, and I know everything's not straight and all that stuff. And I mean, it's as straight as I could get it. And like I said, I don't think I did bad. I mean, would I pay for this kind of job? No. If I paid somebody and did this kind of job, yeah, no. I mean, I understand when you're paying somebody that, you've really got to do a better job. But I mean, this is me. I just want it good enough to where I can stand on it, jump up and down on it and stuff, and it won't fall or it won't collapse with me and my stuff on it. And oh crap, knocked over my stuff. Yay. But right there I marked not the left one's kind of, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. The right one is to mark where these are on the floor, and there's another one that actually did a really good job right there. So that way, when I bring the server rack down, I put it right there. I pretty much know if I can line up the holes. I'm pretty much center on this, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to find out what size lag bolts I need, start a small pilot hole through the tile and this, and then put lag bolts all the way through on the front and back, and that way my rack will not tip over. So no matter what, I mean, unless I really jerk on it, that's really the only way. And considering the way I have this set, I don't see that happening. Because like I said, I'm not going to pull on it to test it, because that would just be stupid. But at least I know that unless somebody really tries to, unless they really yank on it, that's really the only way you're going to get this up. Because I have 3 sections of these, so I know I should be covered for 3 sections. And I know that the rack's probably going to start to sit, I want to say right about here, which is right in between that really close joist right there and this one here. So there's 1, 2, 3 right there. So I know that from there back to about there, I will be able to screw the rack down. The rack is not going to go anywhere, and then I don't have to worry about it ever again. And then I just got to fix this guy right here, this fuck up for the tiles. But yeah, if I cut those tiles for that, that would hide that. Because again, who in their right mind is gonna set something like right at the very edge? I mean, I'm not saying like a bookcase wouldn't do it, especially if you butt it up against the wall, and I can understand that, but I'm not really butting it up against the wall. Okay, and as you can see, the floor's coming along. We've only got a few more pieces this Friday since we're off. I get it off because my company's closed, and she took Friday off, and all we'll have to do is just finish up the one section and the closet, and then we have to put the floor primer down so that the it soaks into the crevices and everything, and give the tiles. It's tiles that already have the glue on them, and just got to start laying them down. I still have to see, which I'll probably do that here in a little bit, to just see like how many it's going to be across and stuff like that. I know I still have to vacuum it, but I'm not going to vacuum the floor to pick up all the dust and dirt and everything until we get all the wood laid down and screwed and everything in. And we'll have to like scrape it to make sure that there's no raised edges and stuff like that. And then once we get the floor tile laid, then it's just the ceiling tile and the trimming down below, and if I'm replacing the trimming up at the top, or I'm just going to reuse the stuff at the top. It just depends on what we can find at a store. I haven't really found anything that I like at the store, so I probably will use the same stuff unless again I find something that I like better. So, but that's all for now, and like I said, we have the makings of a floor. So as I always like to say, have a good day, guys, and take care.